My name's Kailey Burtt, and I'm going to be talking about the Communist Revolution in China and the impact it had on the issue of communism in the Cold War.
China before 1911. Prior to 1911, China was an empire struggling against foreign imperialism. Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. This means that imperialists from outside were all trying to take part of China. China was, according to KhanAcademy.org, being carved up like a melon. Large regions of China were under foreign control, and the country as a whole was very unstable. The last imperial dynasty in China, the Qing dynasty, was led by Puyi from 1908 to 1912. The unstable situation China was in led to Republican revolutionaries starting the Xinhai Revolution and eventually overthrowing the emperor and establishing a Chinese republic, also known as the ROC. After imperialism in China ended, two major political groups existed. There was the ROC, which was first led by President Sun Zhongshan. There was also the CCP, or the Chinese Communist Party, which was formed in 1921 by revolutionaries with socialist anti-imperialist views and led by Mao Zedong from 1927 to his death in 1976. The two groups collaborated to rid the nation of warlords left over from imperialism who were still controlling regions of the land. This didn't last long, though, because after Sun Zhongshan's death in 1927, the nationalists went against the communists and were willing to ally with warlords if they agreed to fight with the communists. The White Terror of 1927, also known as the Shanghai Massacre, took place when the nationalists killed and purged the communists. Tensions between the two groups dramatically increased and a civil war started. Japanese invasion. After World War II, according to the Treaty of Versailles, Japan was awarded land in China, and by 1920, Japanese armies were invading the northeast region of Manchuria. China was officially at war with Japan by 1937. China now faced the triple threat of warlords, Japanese invasion, and communist uprising. Chiang Kai-shek, the second leader of the nationalists and the president at the time, was not doing well dealing with this all, so he was abducted by generals and forced to reconsider working with the CCP once again. Together they fought against the Japanese until the Japanese was finally forced to surrender. The nationalists and the communists met to talk with the hope of forming a post-war government, but this attempt failed. Years of mistrust ruined chances of forming a coalition government. The civil war between the two groups resumed from 1946 to 1949. As the war went on, communist support increasingly grew and victory seemed more and more likely. Nationalist support was almost gone, and the ROC was looking to retreat in Taiwan. In October of 1949, leader of the communists, Mao Zedong, also known as Chairman Mao, proclaimed the establishment of the PRC, the People's Republic of China, which is China's official name under communism. Chiang Kai-shek and his forces fled to Taiwan to establish a rival Chinese nation. So how does this all have to do with the Cold War? First, what was the Cold War? The Cold War was characterized by geopolitical tensions between the Soviets and the U.S. surrounding politics, economy, and propaganda. Major issues of the Cold War were ideological conflict, nuclear weapons, and the fear of the spread of communism, the latter being partially influenced by the Communist Revolution in China. The fear of the spread of communism was a big issue because the Soviet Union was communist and the U.S. was very anti-communist. China turning communist brought more fear to the U.S. and made the propaganda warning against communism more extreme, which made America more against it and in turn more against the Soviet Union, leading to more Cold War tension, which proves the effect China had on the Cold War.